Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Network. Today we are diving deep into a release that has the entire Linux community talking. Earlier this month, the Linux kernel 6.19 was officially released. For most distributions, a kernel bump is just another Tuesday, but for the team over at EndeavourOS, it was the perfect excuse to refresh their ISO and bring some massive foundational changes to the table. These changes weren't just incremental, they were big enough to turn this into a major release. They've named it Titan. For those who follow space exploration or astronomy, you know Titan as the second largest moon in our solar system orbiting Saturn. The team has borrowed this celestial giant to orbit around our favorite purple Linux space for a while. This theme is beautifully captured in the brand new default wallpaper created by the incredibly talented and longtime community member Uncle Spellbinder. It's clean, it's moody, and it perfectly sets the tone for what this OS is all about, power wrapped in a minimalist package. But before we get into the joyous news of the technical specs and the new tools, we have to talk about something a bit more serious that's looming over the horizon for all of us in the Linux world. Like many of you watching, the EndeavourOS team was caught off guard by the news last week regarding the new age verification laws for operating systems in California scheduled for 2027. Since the news broke, the team has been flooded with questions. What is EndeavourOS' position? How will an Arch-based distro handle this? To be honest, it's a complicated situation. Right now, the stance is wait and see. It is nearly impossible to make a definitive statement today because this law doesn't just touch the ISO you download. It ripples through desktop environments, window managers, software packages, and even the mirror networks we use to get our updates. Here is the core of the issue. EndeavourOS, much like Arch Linux itself, has zero infrastructure to track who you are. They don't know how many people download the system, and they certainly don't know who is running it on their hardware. This isn't just a technical limitation, it's a philosophical one. Tracking users goes against the very fundamentals of FOSS, meaning free and open source software. Beyond the philosophy, there is the practical side. This is a community-driven project. They don't have the legal teams, the manpower, or the financial resource to implement a global age tracking system. It is a near impossible task for a non-corporate distribution. The most frustrating part, during the drafting of this law, not a single representative from the FOSS world, be it the Linux Foundation, the FSF or the OCI, was heard or consulted. There is still a window of opportunity to fix this before 2027, and all eyes are now on these big organizations to step up for the smaller projects that don't have US legal representation. We aren't blaming them, but we are pointing out that the law isn't set in stone yet. As the team said, Colorado and the rest of the world are next. This is a global conversation about privacy that we all need to be part of. Now let's shift gears back to the exciting stuff. I want to clear something up for the beginners out there. If you are already running EndeavourOS on your machine, you don't need to reinstall anything. One of the best parts about rolling release like EndeavourOS is that as long as you're running your updates regularly, your system will eventually become Titan on its own. The changes we are discussing today specifically affect new installation, the Calamares installer, and the live environment. If you're happy with your current setup, just keep updating. But if you've been waiting for a reason to distro hop or refresh your laptop, Titan is the perfect entry point. The Titan live environment is shipping with some very fresh hardware support. Here is the nitty-gritty for the tech enthusiasts. Linux kernel 6.19.6. This brings the latest optimizations for modern processors and file systems. Calamares 26.03.1.3. The installer itself has been tuned for speed and reliability. Firefox 148.0. Your window to the web updated with the latest security patches. Mesa 26.0.1. This is huge for gamers. Better drivers for AMD and Intel graphics mean better frame rates in your system library. And NVIDIA 590.48.01. For the Team Green users, this ensures your high-end GPU works right out of the gate. The big news with Titan isn't just the updated software, it's the workflow. The team has worked hard to clean up and streamline how you get from a USB stick to a working desktop. In previous versions, if you were installing offline or had a spotty connection, your mirror list may not be optimal. Titan now provides an optimized mirror list even when the installer is offline. This means when you boot into your new system for the first time and run that first update, you'll be pulling from the fastest, closest servers automatically. Whether you're running a dedicated GPU or a complex virtual machine setup, Titan's detection has been overhauled. It now identifies all GPUs and specific VM environment with much higher accuracy. This leads directly into the next big future. This is where Titan really earns his name. For a long time, setting up hardware acceleration on Arch could be a bit of a choose-your-own adventure and sometimes a headache. Titan now automatically installs additional drivers for all GPUs. We aren't just talking about basic display drivers, we're talking about Vulkan drivers. These are now pulled in by default, ensuring your Linux gaming experience is Steam Deck level of smooth right away. Hardware video decoding. The installer now adds the necessary packages so your GPU handles video playback like 4K YouTube instead of your CPU. This saves battery life and keeps your fans quiet. And early driver loading. GPU drivers are now loaded early in the boot process by default. This prevents that awkward flicker or black screen delay between the bootloader and the login screen. Before we get to the most important tool in this release, I want to take a quick second to ask for your support. If you enjoyed these deep dives into Linux world, if you like seeing how distributions evolve, or if you just want to support a creator who lives and breathes Linux, please hit that subscribe button right now. Make sure to ring the bell so you get notified the second I drop a new video. Your support is what allows me to keep Linux HWtool running and helps me bring more of these reviews to you. Go ahead, click it, I'll wait. Done? Awesome. Let's get back to the star of the show. The Titan release introduces a brand new homegrown tool called EOS HW This is a game changer for people who don't want to spend their afternoon reading the Arch wiki just to change a graphics card. This is the exact same tool that the installer uses during the setup process, but the team has made it available for all users post-install. Did you just upgrade from an old NVIDIA card to a new AMD Radeon? Are you moving your SSD from an Intel laptop to a machine with a dedicated GPU? Just run EOS HW It allows you to install and remove GPU drivers whenever you need to with a simple interface. It takes the guesswork out of package names and dependencies. It's tools like this that make EndeavourOS the user-centric king of the Arch world. I know what some of you are thinking. You said EndeavourOS is minimalist, but the ISO went from 3 gigs to 3.4 gigs. Is this becoming bloatware? The short answer is absolutely not. The team addressed this directly. That extra 400 megabits is entirely dedicated to the new features I just mentioned. Better hardware support, offline mirror optimization, and the inclusion of those vital GPU and Vulkan drivers. They have stayed true to their core principles, providing an almost clean Linux experience that is ready for you to customize. You aren't getting 50 apps you don't need. You're getting a more robust foundation so that whatever you choose to install later works perfectly. I hope you have as much fun exploring Titan as the team clearly had creating it. This release is a love letter to the community. From the feedback on the Telegram groups to the testing on the forums, Titan is a crowdsourced masterpiece. To the EndeavourOS team and the wonderful community members involved, we think the world of you. Thank you for keeping the purple space alive and kicking. Titan is available for download right now on the EndeavourOS homepage. If you're looking for a distro that respects your privacy, gives you the latest kernel and makes GPU management a breeze, this is the one. I'm Cătălin from Linux Network. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Let me know in the comments, are you team AMD or team NVIDIA? And what do you think of the new Titan name? That being said, I'll see you in the next one.